we have successfully achieved transfer of power from one party to another in 2015. However, we have watched the enthusiasm of our citizens wane over the years, with each election proving to be worse than the previous. This has resulted in regression and downward loop in terms of turnout on election day. We have watched with agony as the clear ideological differences within the parties have disappeared, making the choices the first about individual personalities and less about values and ideology. Sadly now, it is evolving dangerously to just money in a highest bidder heist of the suffrage of the electorate of our beloved country. We have watched the electoral umpire, INEC, improve its guidelines and its progressive lack of integrity and transparency in the electoral process. The judiciary of our country has not been spared. We have observed an unacceptable and dangerous erosion of the integrity of the judicial institution, which ordinarily should provide balance. Checkmating institutions of government and protecting the state from a complete collapse. We have observed an increase in the activities of thugs, of non-state actors, and violence at play, adding to the challenge of our democracy. The reason for the birth of this movement, which we have called here today to come and unveil, is the need to rescue our nation and the democracy from the dangers we see on the horizon. Respect for the principle of party supremacy is at an all-time low. A viable opposition to checkmate the activities of the incumbent government is almost non-existent. There is an urgent need for a platform to engage political actors, national stakeholders, academia, civil society, the media, political parties themselves, democratic institutions of other nations, and all who can contribute to the wellness and sustainability of our democracy. We have imagined it as a national opposition coalition. This has become necessary, as it is obvious that those who are elected members of opposition have not shown courage to take on the issues that affect the country and the wellness of the masses. Far from looking to evolve into a political party, we seek to engage Nigerians, offer guidance on issues of opposition. We will embark on advocacy to educate the people on how democracy and electoral outcomes affect them. We will spend our time and resources on the reorientation of citizens. We shall work towards eradicating the menace, or at least reducing it, of trading in votes for a token. Consequences of obnoxious practices of trading in the votes will be explained through proper education and advocacy. Those who have continued to pilfer our common patrimony, stealing the country dry, and people of questionable wealth who cannot be allowed to seize the reign of our power and authority of our beloved nation under the guise of democracy. This we must not allow to persist or endure. We're therefore proposing an opposition movement which will not lend itself to chaos. Nigeria as a nation and its citizens cannot be manipulated into crisis by charlatans playing with buzzwords to deceive the citizens into mob action with attendant consequences. We have set this noble task for ourselves knowing the sacrifice required and the trust deficit in the country, we will move quickly to embark on zonal town hall meetings, to engage the populace and find partners at state to local government and ward levels. And we will be proposing to go in this order because of the urgency of the time. We will start with the North Central Zone on the 7th of December 2024, wherein we will go and do a proper town hall meeting, engaging stakeholders, not the usual rabble-rousers and the fellows who have not been able to communicate or even stand for anything of value in this country. We'll be looking for the type of people who have agonized at how their country is going, with feeling powerless because of the rather strange fait accompli that political parties who fail to reform themselves place on the people. From the North Central Zone on the 7th of December, we'll be going straight to the Northeast Zone on the 14th of December 2024. Right after, we will go to the Northwest Zone on the 4th of January. Then we will go to the South-South Zone on the 11th of January 2025. We will hopefully get a few of us to go watch and see what happened with the inauguration of the Donald Trump presidency in America, giving us about a week or so to observe how proper democracy is meant to run and how it is meant to be organized. We will return very quickly and go to the Southeast Zone on the 8th of February 2025, where we hope that we'll be able to talk to ourselves and our brothers and reduce the bickering and the needless tribalism that is beginning to demonstrate hate for fellow Africans and fellow Nigerians. It is the will of God that we share this space, this canopy called earth, with ourselves. And if there be any way we try to know who is even most related to you, minus tribal language, it is a man whose color of skin is like yours, whose color of eyes is like yours, whose hair is like yours, and whose culinary is like yours, whose culture is also like yours. We hope that when we get to the Southeast, we find partners that we can speak with and we can engage with. We'll round up the zonal meeting in the Southwest on the 15th of February 2025, hopefully, where we can try to also speak to people, lower the temperature, reduce the need for the entitlement of any sort of idea that anybody can interpret that a nation called Nigeria, which was dreamt by our forefathers to be a united nation, a nation for all Nigerians, where every Nigerian can have a sense of belonging wherever he may be. We will reduce and try to explain that the concept of Emilokon was just a singular person's interpretation of how he's speaking to his candidates in his party, and not meant to be a translation of a cultural dimension that seeks to say that this nation will now only run on tribalism, prebendalism, and unnecessary parochialism. Or at each of the zones, compatriots will be encouraged to initiate their own mobilization processes, select their own leaders, oversee and supervise their own local operations. The march has begun. Gentlemen of the press, the march has begun. We are extending our hands of partnership and collaboration to all Nigerians who wonder if this is the best we can be, who wonder if nothing good is going to come out of this democracy, who wonder where do we go from here, and who are desirous. Gentlemen of the press, you can't be disturbing us with your side talk. Desirous of a vibrant opposition, as well as a transparent, credible democratic electoral process. We shall christen the movement the alternative. Why are we calling it the alternative? Because it is not exactly a platform to just see no good, hear no good, desire no good in our country. And it is to take into cognizance that those in government today are not the enemy. Sometimes it is an exchange of alternative viewpoints on policy and program that we may save our democracy, save our country, and stop being each other's enemies. And it is also more importantly, to ensure that it can be a platform that can be passed on for the next person who will be in opposition. For being a strong PDP member, my very self, never leaving the party, committed and holding the party, I understand that those who are in government today will surely be in opposition tomorrow. And by the grace of God, and if it is the will of the Nigerian people, those who are in opposition today must surely become maybe in government tomorrow. Therefore, we're looking for a platform that can stand the test of time, that can do better than what our forebearers have done. For whereas they had very little opportunities of training, they had very little historical books of their own African experiences, we, their children and grandchildren, can stand on the giant of the ideals of our founding fathers, the Tafawa Balewas of this world, the Ahmadu Bellos of this world, the Bafemi Awolowo of this world, the Azikiwes of this world, and such great men, the J.S. Takers of this world, men who, and women too, who have taught that this nation, under God, being the most populous black nation on earth, has a right to tell the world, we are here now, and we deserve to be taken seriously. And for anyone to take us seriously, we first of all have to clean up our own mess. Democracy has only one promise, and that is the promise that the child of anybody within the Nigerian space who is automatically qualified and not disqualified by law is entitled to participate. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we have invited you. My name is Otumba Shagun Showumi. I am the chief convener and the promoter of this idea. And by the grace of God, you will find me never to falter nor drop the plow. Thank you very much. Questions?